Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I get to talk about one of my favorite things in the entire world, which is books. Another book video for you guys. I promise there are some vlogs coming if you guys missed that content, but today I want to talk about 23 books that I want to read in 2023. I picked out some books. A lot of them I will say are in a series, but that's because this year I really want to focus on series, and there are some other series that I want to read, but these are like the top ones that I really want to get to and I really just want to focus on this year. But yeah, I have 3 different categories for this year. The first one is classics, the second one is romance, and then the third one is fantasy. This year I really want to dive into fantasy and classics and read just more than romance. I read a lot of romance, don't get me wrong, I still love romance, I will continue to read romance, but I do want to dive into other things and just learn more, you know what I mean? So we're going to start off with classics. My goal by the end of the year is that I will have at least read 7 classics. I have so many, so I might as well read them, especially just because like they're so beautiful and I love the movies that go with them, and I loved Pride and Prejudice whenever I read that 2 years ago now. Wow. I have like the most prettiest edition of all of the classics that I own, so I'm extra motivated to read them that way. But the first one that we have is Anna Karenina, I don't know how to say this one. This one by Leah Tolstoy. This is a book about this Russian woman, Anna, who is a part of like this big Russian family, and it talks a lot about like death, human relationship, all parts of society, and what it's like to live like the super lavish life, but she's so unhappy. And you get to go through this journey with her to kind of find out like what makes a person happy. Is it wealth? Is it status? Is it society? Is it other people? Like, what does it take to be happy? And like, that's the real big theme of this 800-page book. But yeah, I got this one for Christmas, so it's 800 pages. My family was like, you really want that for Christmas, an 800-page book? And I was like, yes. Yes, I do. But yeah, I am honestly really excited to read this one. Then the second classic that I want to read is Little Women by Louisa May Alcott. I do also have the most beautiful edition of this book as well. This is a like painted artistry covered book. You can like feel the texture of it, which is super cool. And then it has like these gold foiling on the side of the pages, and then on the inside it has like these quotes right here. Yeah, I really want to read this book. I absolutely adore the 2019 movie adaptation of this book, and my goal is to not watch the movie until I read the book. I just want to sit there and compare and contrast like the book and the movie. I've heard that the book is super slow, especially because like the movie is so fast-paced, but it's really all about like these sisters' relationship and what they're going through and like the civil war that they're in. I just want to read it. I need to read it. It's about time. And then the third book that I have is Wuthering Heights by Emily Bronte. Again, I also have a very pretty edition of this book. This is the Portland House Illustrated Classics edition from 1987, and what's really cool is that I went to this antique shop with my boyfriend whenever we were in Kansas together, and I found this book and I was like, oh my gosh, do I get it? Do I not? And on the inside it said Merry Christmas Michelle, and if you don't know, my middle name is Michelle, hence why my YouTube is kylamichellec. So I was like, okay, it literally says my name in there, it's calling to me, I have to get it. It was the best $15 I've ever spent because it is so beautiful. I mean, just look at it. It's illustrated on the inside. Look at that. Isn't that so pretty? Some of them are in color and some of them are in black and white, but I think it's so beautiful. But Wuthering Heights, this is one of the books I don't really know much about, even though it's like quoted so much. I just know like the main quote, like whatever our souls are made of, hers are mine and are the same. I do love that quote just because I think it's so beautiful, and I just really want to read the book to find the true meaning and the context of what that quote was said in. I know that they're family friends, but they're like enemies to lovers. That's as much as I know. But either way, I will find out this year. And then the last 4 classics I'm going to talk about are all Jane Austen novels. I was gifted all 4 of these books from my boyfriend and his mom. Just look at them. Look how gorgeous these books are. These are the Easton Press Collector's Edition from 1996 Jane Austen novels. There are 6 of them. I have 4 of the 6 of them. My goal one day is to complete the collection and get the last 2. The first one is Northanger Abbey. I really don't know much about like any of these classics, I'm not even gonna lie. I just know I want to read them. There's just something so curious about all of these classics from these famous writers that just makes me want to dive into them and just read them all. So we have Northanger Abbey by Jane Austen. Let's just take a moment. One more moment. Just look at that. Isn't that so gorgeous? And on the inside, they also have illustrations in them right here, right in the beginning. Isn't that so pretty? And then the next one is Persuasion. This one I do know a little bit about because I watched the Netflix adaptation with Dakota Johnson, which I absolutely love that movie. I thought it was so beautiful. This one is about a girl who was persuaded to give up her first love, someone that she truly wanted to be with, and then about 8 or 9 years later he comes back into her life and she's still not over him, and she's like, okay, but I can't like be with him because I hurt him so much, and everybody's telling her not to be with him. But he comes back into her life and she's immediately like, I want to begin. Why did I ever let myself get persuaded to be without him? And stuff happens. They go on trips together with like all of their friends, and just things go on. And I think it's so beautiful, their love story. I'm really excited to read like the original version of it. And the next one is Mansfield Park. I don't know much about this one other than like it's super high society. And then the last and final classic that I'm going to talk about is Emma, also by Jane Austen. I watched, I think, like 40 minutes of the HBO Max adaptation of this book, and I don't know, I didn't really like it. I know that it is about this girl Emma who like is super spoiled. She's a bit of a brat and she's giving everything to her, and like somebody one day challenges her on that and she's like, whatever, like you don't know what you're talking about. I don't know, I didn't really vibe with like the character that was in the movie. I'm sure if like I read the book then go back and watch the movie, or I look at it from a different perspective, I may like it better. I think she's just gonna be one of those characters that you just love to hate, you know what I mean? So but those are all the classics that I want to read this year, and now we're going to get into all of the romance books that I want to read, which my list compiles of 2 series. The first one is the Magnolia Park series. Now, I've read the first one, which you can see right there. I really want to finish the last 3 books that I know that are in the series. I don't know if there's going to be more books added to the series, but so far there's 4 out. The first one is Magnolia Park, which I already read. The second one is Daisy Hates. The cover of this book honestly throws me off, but I think it's going to be the same as Magnolia Park's. Like, the cover is so much, but everything that the characters talk about connects to the cover, so hopefully there's something that connects for this cover, because what's really throwing me off I think is like the Converse right there, like hanging off of Jesus, you know, that's a little weird. This one is about Daisy and Christian. Everybody says that Daisy is Magnolia's like best friend. She's not. They hate each other, so I don't know what lies people have been spreading around, because I was really hoping for like best friends fall in love with their dudes. Like, that's not what happens in this book. That's not what happens in the first one. I haven't read this one yet, but very excited to read this one because I'm pretty sure it's an enemies to lovers. It's a he's in love with another girl type of trope, which like you love to hate these characters, but like you also love these characters at the same exact time. But yeah, it's very messy, but it's very fun to read. And then the third book of the series is Magnolia Park's The Long Way Home. Very beautiful cover. I think this is my favorite cover out of all of them. I just love like the color and the vibe of this book just in general. I'm pretty sure this one picks up where Magnolia Park leaves off. At least I'm hoping so. And then the last book of the series, which is the third romance I'm going to talk about, is The Great Undoing of Daisy Hates. I do not have the paperback yet. I did order it, but it's going to be taking a little bit to get here. I think I'm getting it at the end of January. This one is a continuation of Daisy Hates and just this entire series in general. Again, I don't really know the timeline of when these books happen or like which book, like what's happening, how they connect, but I do know I want to read the rest of the series. So that is the first romance series that I want to talk about. The next one is I actually want to finish reading the Addicted / Calloway Sisters series this year, but I read the first 5 books and now I have 5 left, but those books are Thrive, Addicted After All, Fuel the Fire, Long Way Down, and Some Kind of Perfect. These 5 books are the ones I have left to read. I am super excited to read them. If you don't know what this entire series is about, it starts off with Lily and Lo. Lily is a sex addict, Lo is a alcoholic, and they are trying to just heal themselves of their addictions. And then you also get the story of Rose Calloway and Daisy Calloway and how they fall in love with the boys that they do and just what they go through and their lives. And it's just such a beautiful, beautiful story about this family and this group of friends who just want to help each other and who love each other so much. And you get to go through a lot with them because they are kind of like more high society kind of people. They live in New York, they're very rich, and it's really fun to like read these books and just be a part of the family because I don't feel like I'm just reading their stories. I feel like I'm a part of it. This is the other big series I just really want to focus on finishing this year. You think I'm done talking about series now? I'm not. So the next category is fantasy. I do have a couple of series, but my main goal for fantasy is just to at least start the books, to dip my toes into it, see if I like it. I already know that I do enjoy fantasy. I'm reading the Crave series right now. I read Vampire Academy. I've read the Dance of Thieves duology. Like, I've read some fantasy, but I haven't like full gone into it yet. So my goal this year is to read more of it and to just start these series, because I find that most fantasy series are forever and a million long. Like, they are just super long, at least the ones that are like super hyped up and the ones that everybody loves. So I'm going to talk about 2 books before I get into the big like fantasy series that I want to read this year. First one is a new release, and that is 1,000 Heartbeats by Kiara Kaz. This book recently just came out, I think in like November, December, something like that. This is about Princess Annika and Lennox. Princess Annika is being forced into a political marriage by her father, and she has to marry this guy Lennox. From what I understand, they end up marrying each other, and he wants to take back the throne. He wants to steal it back. He just thinks love is a complete distraction, but they are like enemies to lovers, I think. They can't possibly be together, but the irresistible thrum of 1,000 heartbeats won't let them stay apart. Or maybe she's supposed to marry a different guy and Lennox just comes in and she's like, I'll help you. I don't know. Either way, I'm excited about it. It's by Kiara Kaz. The Selection series, you ever heard of it? That's by her. One of my favorite series of all freaking time. It's so beautiful, and the fact that this follows another princess. I do have her books, The Betrothed and The Betrayed. I haven't read them, but from what I've heard, those books like weren't as good, so I'm hoping this is like really good. I'm hoping that like she stepped up her game like she did with the Selection series, and it's pretty thick. I think it's like 400, 500 pages, something like that. But look at the back of it. Isn't that so pretty? I just love it, and I'm hoping that like I end up loving the series. And then the next book, this is a part of a pretty big series, but I do want to just start it, and that is A Court of Thorns and Roses by Sarah J Maas. My goal is to read this entire series this year. I mainly just want to start it, and then I kind of want to dip my toes into her other series. I don't know what it's called. I think it's The Throne of Ashes, Throne of Glass, something like that. But those new covers come out February 14th, so I'm waiting until the new covers come out to order them because I want the new covers. So yeah, but I do want to start this entire series. If you don't know what this is about, then you're either new or you just haven't heard of it, which I don't know how, because I think everybody has talked about this series and I'm just like the one chick who's just been like left behind, you know? This is a enemies to lovers. It's a Beauty and the Beast kind of retelling of this girl who gets taken to the Fae world, and she has to basically learn to survive. I think she has 2 sisters that like come along with her too. I don't know. Something like that. But yeah. And then the last and final series that I'm going to be talking about that I really want to focus on trying to finish this year, that is the Mortal Instrument series by Cassandra Clare. I have like the new covers, but in like a glossy way that makes them look old. Like, Amazon kind of tricked me because they showed me a picture of the books that I was gonna get, and these are not the books that I actually got. So I feel like I should have returned these. I just didn't want to. I was like, I'll deal with it. It doesn't matter. If you don't know what this Mortal Instrument series is about, if you have not watched the show Shadowhunters on Freeform ABC Family, then you may not know what this is about at all. So this is about the Shadowhunters, who are supposed to protect people from demons who roam the earth, and people don't see them. Only other Shadowhunters are able to see them unless like the Shadowhunters let themselves be seen by their runes, like their tattoos all over the body. And one night, Clary Frey and her friend Simon go out to like this nightclub, and Clary's like, oh my gosh, did you see those guys jumping off from the roofs? And Simon's like, no, I didn't. And she's like, what do you mean? Like, you don't see them? They're right there, standing right in front of you. And Simon's like, you're acting crazy. And then she goes up to one of the guys and she's like, who are you? Why, like, what happened? And the guy's like, you can see me. From what I understand, they're like a smaller faction of like the other things that there are out there, so they all pretty much know each other. But from there you get to follow her story of how she finds out that she's one of these people, and you get to follow her journey of something happens to her mom and she has to figure it out, and she meets new friends, and she basically travels everywhere. That is the first book. The first book sets it up really good. I've actually read the first 3 of these books, and then one day I just stopped reading it, but that was like literally 6-7 years ago, so it's been a bit. And then we have City of Ashes. This is my favorite cover out of all of them. I think this one is so cool. And then we have City of Glass, and then City of Fallen Angels. This is actually the book that I stopped at. I read like that much of it and I was like, okay, I'm done. And then we have City of Lost Souls. Again, I love this cover. I think it's really cool. And then City of Heavenly Fire, which is, I think, the biggest one out of all of them. This one, again, is one of my favorite covers out of the entire series. I think it's so pretty. Not only do I want to read these, like, I want to read the other series that goes in, that interconnects with these series, because if we're following Cassandra Clare's, like, the entirety of the Shadowhunter series, it's like 21 books. So it's a lot. It is a big series, but I mainly want to focus on getting through the Mortal Instrument series and then hopefully the Infernal Devices. But yeah, those are the 23 books that I really want to read in 2023, my top books that I just want to get through. Of course I have more to my TBR, but these are the main ones that I really want to read. So yeah, comment down below what is on your TBR for 2023, like your top book, your top 5 books, whatever you want to say, whatever recommendations that you have for me that you think I should read this year. So yeah, I really hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to subscribe, leave a like, drop a comment, whatever you want to do. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I love you and peace out. So this is Kyla from the future. I was editing this video and I realized I never put in the giveaway stuff. I don't know how I forgot that, but I did. You're watching, you want to know how to enter it, you want to know what the giveaway is. I figured it would be fun to like give back to you guys in some way, especially for the new year. You know, you want to enter a new year, and I just think it's fun. So the giveaway is going to be a Amazon wish list book type of thing. I'm going to send you a book from your Amazon wish list. I'm going to be picking 2 winners for this giveaway. You guys have a good chance of winning, but let's talk about the rules for it. First one is you want to be subscribed, and then you also want to be following my Instagram at kylamichellec with 2 eyes. You want to be a part of the team. You know, we would do this together. So yeah, I just want to give it to only people who are subscribed. And then the second one is to actually comment down below your Instagram, because I want to be able to contact you. Also, in your comment, put down your most anticipated read of 2023 or the book that you're so excited to read from your TBR this year. Yeah, it could be really fun, and if you don't own the book, maybe you'll be sent it. The only 2 rules, just be subscribed, follow my Instagram, and then comment down below your Instagram and your most anticipated read of 2023. If you are the winner, you just want to make sure that your Amazon wish list is on public. So whenever I DM you and I'm like, hey, send me your Amazon thing, like you want to make sure that I'm able to actually send you something. So yeah, those are the only rules. That's the giveaway. I really hope that you guys are excited for this. I really am. It's my first giveaway. I just want to get back to you guys because I love you all, and you all have supported me a lot through 2022. So thank you guys, and Happy New Year. It's a great time. Anyway, I'll see you guys in my next video. I love you and peace out.